who are the players that suddenly have higher expectations that we suddenly have high expectations for than we did a few weeks ago?
Trevor Penning.
Oh no,
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, a little bit. Look, he looked confident. Like I think there's a possibility of him being viable.
That's the right word.
Not
That's
thrivable. Like I'm not moving to thrivable yet.
Good.
For sure.
Let's see him viable before we set any higher expectations. But like there's a scenario now where I think it's possible. I think it's possible he competes for a job is how I'll put it. I think it's possible that he competes for a job. Whereas before I was kind of like, nah, like, you know, you couldn't count on him for anything. And I'm still not counting on him, but I'm giving him the ability to compete for that job. Like the expectation that he's going to be competitive in the battle for right tackle.
I wrote this question because I have an answer, which I'll get to in a second. But just to build off your point, I felt better about the entire offensive line. Like it was just kind of a reminder that Anthony Herron, who was, or Justin Herron, who was the backup right tackle, Lucas Patrick, who they just signed as the backup center. They had a couple veterans in those spots, and then they had Saldivari and Penning getting their first chance. We didn't see where Oli Udoh was going to be yet because he was nursing an injury or whatever, but like they have options at least. Like I feel good that they're not just like, these are the five and we're screwed if they don't pan out. Landon Young was a guy. They were working him out as a second string left tackle, even though he had probably had more experience at right tackle. They're giving themselves options like for viability. Same word as you, for viability.
Yeah, I think there's a scenario where it could possibly be viable.
Yes, a scenario where it could possibly be viable.
Be viable.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not Nick and Mike and Brandon say they have viable offensive line. Possibility of viability.
But
Definitely.
my guy that I wrote this question around is one that already is there probably among this whole fan base from a hype standpoint, but it's A.T. Perry. He made the play of the day today. He just went up and got one. Like it came out kind of quick and high, and he got that hand up, and he was already up high, and we've already seen him high point balls, and he kind of batted it to himself, got it in traffic, and then Brandon and I went and talked to him afterward. The video's up on the YouTube page. He's like, I'm not calling it the Mike Thomas role to put words in his mouth, but that physical contested catch, guy you can trust, third receiver for this team. He wants it. He doesn't want to give that job up. And he said all the things about like, yeah, last year I was kind of feeling my way through. This year I'm confident. I've been working. I've been putting on muscle. Like I'm done like thinking, oh, he's probably the fourth receiver. He's a good fourth receiver with some potential. Like he wants to be that third receiver. He really does. And my expectations for him raised a little bit today.
We aren't locking in on any dark horses yet, but anybody got dark horse candidates yet?
No, probably not. I mean, Kyle Hergel was one that I liked because he was an undrafted offensive lineman in the system, and he got a lot of second team snaps today. But that's minor. Anthony Orji, one of last year's dark horses, made one of the plays today with the forced fumble. The linebackers and linebacker coach were super fired up for him. But no, nobody else. You got one?
Yeah, I'm big on Michael Jacobson, the tight end.
Oh yeah,
I think he definitely has a chance of doing.
He used to play
something.
basketball, right?
He used to play basketball, and there's a penchant for these guys who have been around for a year to like show up this time of year and look a lot better than other guys that haven't quite caught up and settled in yet. But he's learning in a new system too, so the curve on that's kind of stunted a little bit. But we'll kind of see, at the end of it. But he's definitely somebody that's very strongly like under consideration on that list for me. We've seen 2 practices, and both practices, like you're like, damn, like this dude, he moves well. He looks the part. He's athletic. I think he has a chance.
Yep.
He also pointed out Lou Hedley was most improved today.
He looked great today.
Yeah, that was going to be who's
best
on that
practice
list.
we've ever seen.
Yeah,
Yeah.